You're in the Central Highlands, late 1967. The day starts wet and stays that way. Your boots never dry. Your stomach hasn't settled in days. Your hands shake when you stop moving. The danger isn't visible, and that's the problem. You keep walking, keep quiet, because admitting something is wrong means slowing the unit. In this video, we're breaking down 4 hidden health problems U.S. soldiers lived with in Vietnam. Conditions men concealed, minimized, or ignored, until they forced evacuation, ended tours early, or permanently changed how they functioned. What most people miss is that many of these problems didn't start dramatic. They started small, and they compounded. What hits you first is the gut. Within weeks in country, diarrhea becomes routine. Not once or twice, sometimes for days. Army medical logs from 1966 to 1969 show gastrointestinal illness as one of the leading causes of non-battle medical visits. Units operating near Pleiku and along the Ia Drang corridor reported repeated outbreaks tied to local water, poorly cleaned mess gear, and heat stress. You feel weak, but still walk point. You lose fluids faster than you can replace them. A medic later recalled that men would just stop eating to avoid symptoms. After-action reports noted dehydration cases after patrols lasting 8 to 12 hours. Once severe dehydration set in, return was unlikely. And the longer you stayed silent, the worse the next problem became. Because while your stomach fails quietly, your skin is already breaking down. By 1968, infantry units in the Mekong Delta were spending up to 60% of their time in standing water. Army medical summaries described immersion foot, fungal infections, and open sores that never fully healed. You feel it as burning between the toes, then numbness, then cracking skin that bleeds when you walk. Men hid it by taping their feet or swapping socks when they could. A veteran later paraphrased it simply. He said your feet rotted slow. Evacuation hospital summaries from Long Bin recorded cases where infections had spread past the foot within days. Once hospitalized, many didn't return to line units. And while you're compensating for pain with every step, your judgment starts slipping. That's where exhaustion moves from physical to mental. Sleep in Vietnam was fragmented. Night ambushes, perimeter flares, incoming mortars. Unit journals from 1st Infantry Division positions north of Saigon in 1968 note patrol cycles that allowed 4 to 5 hours of broken sleep over 48-hour periods. You feel it as delayed reactions. Missed radio calls. Forgetting grid coordinates you knew yesterday. A platoon leader later recalled that men would stare too long before moving. Army after-action reports tied navigation errors and negligent discharges to fatigue. From that point on, decision-making wasn't reliable, and that opened the door to the most hidden injury of all, psychological strain that men refused to name. Before 1970, combat stress was rarely discussed openly. Terms like battle fatigue appeared in reports, but men avoided aid stations unless ordered. You feel it as irritability, sudden anger, hypervigilance that doesn't shut off. Evacuation hospital records from 1969 list anxiety reactions, dissociative episodes, and functional collapse after extended field exposure, often after 6 to 9 months in country. A veteran later recalled he couldn't sleep without sitting upright. Once removed from the field, many were reassigned or sent home early. After that, return was unlikely, and the men who stayed learned to hide it better, not heal it. What surprised even experienced troops was how these problems stacked. Stomach illness weakened the body. Foot infections slowed movement. Fatigue dulled judgment. Psychological strain filled the gaps. Medical officers noted that none of these alone looked catastrophic. Together, they ended careers. Units rotated replacements constantly, not from wounds, but from breakdown. By late war years, some divisions reported disease and non-battle injury rates rivaling combat casualties during certain operations. The danger here wasn't one moment. It was duration. And once you realize that doesn't end with rotation, the story gets heavier. Many men carried these problems home. Chronic digestive issues, persistent skin conditions, sleep disorders. Veterans' recollections collected decades later describe symptoms that never fully resolved. They didn't talk about them in 1970. They didn't have language for them. They just adapted. Army medical follow-ups from the early 1970s acknowledged long-term effects, but offered limited treatment. Once discharged, many weren't tracked at all. This is where it turned permanent. Because Vietnam didn't just wound bodies in firefights. It wore them down quietly, daily, invisibly. Men learned to function while unwell. They learned to stay silent. And that silence shaped how the war followed them home. What stayed with many wasn't a single explosion or ambush. It was the feeling of pushing through something that never fully healed. The knowledge that asking for help meant letting others down. These hidden health problems didn't make headlines. They ended tours, altered lives, and stayed buried for years. And for many who carried them, the war never fully stopped.